Kuphi nakuphi emakhaya amadolobheni aseComplus khona lapho ke ubukela khona mahamba phambili SABC 1 Mzansi for sure sakumukela ke lihlelo lakho Yilungelo Lakho lohlelo kululethela ngethi indzaba debatheki lethi sematheni mina ke ngisimpiwe Ngcongwane kanzi ke leli Yilungelo Lakho Bethi samatheni lo mhla ke bekunene sihlaba inyanza leyo ngenzaba yabafunzi ke lababhukusha etikonetini lokubuhlunge ngaloko ukuthi ke uma baqala kusebenta bavele baqale sebasetikonetini leti bahlele ensanyeni leti babambelela ukuthi bachubeke embili empilweni tabo. So what causes students' inability to handle their own finances and indebtedness, and how can this be mitigated? Asasive na umbiko.
Nangona abantu abaninzi apha eMzantsi Afrika bezama ukunciphisa amatyala wabo, kodwa abafundi ngabo abatya imali zabazali bethenga ngaphezulu komntu osebenzayo. Konke oku kwenziwa lifuthe labahlobo, i-peer pressure ngolwasemzini, bengashekanga ke nabo baphuma kumakhaya angathathi ntweni. Ngokutsho kwe-Student Village, umbutho odibanisa abafundi nabathuba omsebenzi, abafundi abaninzi badada ematyaleni. Siye sandwendwela i-Student Village apho siye sanodliwano-ndlebe nabafundi bedyunivesithi yaseJohannesburg, uTsepo Ranko noThandiwe Jiyane. Siye sanencoko nabo ngokubaluleka kokugcina imali.
Do you think students kwi-campuses are financially trained?
It's never been a case yokuthi angikwazi ukusebenzisa imali, but it's the decisions that I make after the education of being told ukuthi imali isetshenziswa kanjani. So buya ngomuntu.
How important is financial management kwi-campuses?
Yona ebalekile ne inkinga ukuthi akekho umuntu okufundisa ngayo. Wena it's either uyazifundela or uyadrown, because khona abantu maybe umuntu kuba isimo sokuthi makaphuma endlini bekafunda esikolweni uhlala endlini uthola imali, everything is managed by abazali. Mara maseka fika esikolweni kuba isituation yokuthi khane sekumele manje ajwayele ukuthi okay le mali nayi imali enginayo kumele le mali ngichube inyanga yonke. And if awujwayelanga leyo nto leyo izoba yintsha, you might misuse ama-funds wakho ugcine songana kudla ungana ma-toiletry.
Kumba we-peer pressure oye uchaphazele kakhulu abafundi abakunyaka wokuqala bazifumana begaxeleke kwiimeko ezingaginyisi mathe ngenxa yezigqibo abazithatha ngokuba befuna ukufana nabanye abafundi.
You need to stay true to what you want. Ukhumbule ukuthi uyeleni kuleyo ndawo leyo. If uyela ukuyofunda, funda uthole lento emele uyithole, lelo phepha lelo uphume ubuyele endlini. Phela nje. You must stay true to who you are and ungaphiki nabantu. Abantu behlezi bakhona, i-lifestyle ohlezi khona.
Ngenxa yokunqongophala kocwangciso kwemali okanye imfundo, uninzi lwabafundi luchitha imali kwizinto ezingabalulekanga ezifana notywala, impahla, ukuzonwabisa kunye nezixhobo ezisandula ukwenziwa endaweni yokufumana ukutya, incwadi kunye nezinye izinto ezifuneka kwizifundo.
Spend on things that I think are necessary since I'm living in an apartment. So as a student, I have to now fend for myself. Buy groceries, have clothes, make sure I eat, and at the same time have extra pocket money for myself.
My habits. Thing ngithandayo yabona ngithanda impahla vele. Ngithenga impahla. Yeah, yokuphela ngikwenza ngiyasave nokusave.
I just put aside money for taxi fare, and then the rest I just use for impahla and food. And yeah, that's what finishes my money most of the time.
Imali yami ngiyisebenzisa phezu kwama essentials like izinto ezi-basic.
I spend it on food and things I need like my data and things like that.
Yeah, it could lead to poverty because we end up buying things that we don't need and you spend money unnecessarily, and then when it's gone, that's when you realize that, yo, I could have bought this, which is something serious, but you don't have money.
Kananjalo abafundi bawela kumgiba wokuvula iiakhawunti zempahla kwaye bathathe imboleko mali bezilungiselela ngokwabo kwingxaki yemali. Xa bathi ekugqibeleni bazigqithe izifundo zabo kwaye bafumane umsebenzi, kuye kufuneke bajongane namatyala abawafumane ngelixa bebengabafundi. Ndungusisanda Manamathela, Yilungelo Lakho.
Asibonga kakhulu ke kuvuyokazi kafile ke nanye nasisanda Manamathela ngekusihlanganisela ke lo mbiko. Nyalo ke kudzingisa lenzaba kabanti lebalulekile futhi yetikoneti kubafundi. Asesimukele ke sichaba silo lovela ke student village, siphinde simukele nathandekile Moloko uvela ke Sim Wealth, siphinde sibe naye futhi na Guguzwane lilunga ke le SRC Everts University. A very good afternoon and a warm welcome to the show. Sanmukele nonke.
Thank you very much.
Angicela ngawe ke Thandi ukuthi I'm sure you've heard some of the students munye wabo uthi I mean what you do with your money is your own decision and it's entirely up to you ukuthi uyisebenzise le financial education lo bonayo you know to take care of your living expenses. Then the other one says you know it's unfortunate that so many students do not have that background in financial education, and hence when they start you know being independent at university, they find themselves not knowing what to do with their money.
No, I agree with that. You know, Masokali University, it's a situation where you're basically by yourself. So you are free from your parents. Your parents don't tell you anything in terms of managing your money. It's solely up to you. So the financial education is not taught at university, and it's also not taught at school. So when you start university, you're blinded by leo allowance or normally NSFAS, and you don't know what to do with that money at that point in time. So it also takes into consideration peer pressure as I ukuthi umuntu ngena itlas naye u driver le moto or ugcoka kanje, and you don't understand ukuthi what should I do with that money ukuthi izokhona ukuthi ingnele whilst for the whole month. And also ukuthi what am I going to do with that mali ukuthi ngizalele, and also ukuthi ingenzele imali so that I can sustain myself for the next couple of months and also for your future. So those are the discussions that you need to do, and if you don't have that knowledge, you need to equip yourself. You must read information corner. We all have a phone, we all have gadgets. You know, there's a lot of information that is available in terms of personal financial management and how you can use it to your advantage, so that when you have that allowance, you use it to your best advantage.
Sichaba, do you think enough is being done to educate students on how to handle their finances once they get to tertiary level?
I think at high school level, before they go into tertiary, not enough is being done. But what I've noticed, or from the research that we do, we've seen that students are now a lot more resourceful in how they make money. So for a student that is struggling to make ends meet, they'll go about their way to either do part-time work or start their own business or anything like that to have more money coming in. What they do with the information in terms of how they're going to use that money, they share that information. So students will support each other to try and find out, okay, cool, let's pool this money together to be able to do this. Let's work together to inform each other and make better decisions with our money.
But generally speaking, what's the level of poverty at most of these universities? And do you want to share with us some of your challenges that you encountered?
So myself, personally, I didn't really face a lot of difficulties while I was still at university. And I'll just base solely on the research that we found out that across the board, there are students that are still struggling financially. And the ones that are having difficulty at university level as well, they go for different resources in order to make more money. For the guys that are struggling, there are different support systems. And when they have those support systems, that's how they use them to implement and going forward.
Okay, so Student Village, as an organization, what does it do?
Sure, so we're a youth marketing and graduate recruitment company. And then we specialize in marketing on campus, and we also assist different brands to interact and connect with students, either by grad recruitment and bringing them together with the brand.
Okay.
But in this capacity, there was research that we did that covered student spending in South Africa. And this is from how much students are receiving every month to how much they're spending on different things. And with that, we were able to see the sort of trends that go with that. So if a student is receiving a certain amount of money, what are they doing with it? Are they being a lot more resourceful in getting more money? Are they getting money just from their parents or just from NSFAS or that sort of thing? Or are they starting their own businesses? Are they working together? It's just those sort of insights that we receive and then we present it.
Okay. Kuku mvile kesishaba lapho ukhuluma ngenzaba ekuba being resourceful and tibangwa yini tinkinga tetimali kuba ma students kakhulu ema university?
So I beg to differ with Uputi when he says students are resourceful, because you have to look at the different backgrounds in which students in institutions of higher learning come from. So umzekelo, take umfundi mhlawumbe obuya deep rural KZN. Deep rural KZN, there's no training of that sort. Yokuthi imali uyenza kanjena, maybe you can start thengisa amapeni, things like that. They are not exposed kuleyo ndawo babuya kuyo, you know. So it's not, I feel like it's not fair for him to say students are then resourceful to come up with their own means of making money, because that only applies to students ababuya emadorobheni, where
so
they
you
have
feel it's a blanket statement who feel he's applying it to across the board, yet it's not the case?
Yes.
Okay.
So in most cases, abafundi kakhulu that come from rural areas, they are the ones who struggle a lot with using their money. Because we ekaya, I'm not used to pizza, things like that, inwele, you know, I'm just used to that simple life, ekaya KZN, for example. So now when I get to Joburg, I see pizza, I see McDonald's, there's KFC, I'm overwhelmed. I mean, also I want to now experience leyo mpilo leyo, since well sengi exposed kuyo by coming to Joburg. So I think that's where now the problem starts, to say angijwayelanga le mpilo, and now I'm in this particular area kuphilwa ngale ndlela. So obviously nami I want to do what? I want to gel in. Yeah.
You know, Tandagile, she actually raises a very important point, because most students find themselves like a kid in a candy shop and not knowing what to do with their money and, you know, just spending their money on things that they otherwise didn't have back home.
Yeah. You know, I fully agree with that. And the thing with finances is that it's also got to do with behavioral psychology. Your mindset as a person is very important, because as much as you come from the rural areas, you know very well why are you at varsity. So you are trying to build something of sustainability for your life. And you know that in the future you can have 10 pizzas if you want. You can have 20 pizzas if you want. But you understand that you need to have the money right now to be able to allow you to get the education, so that one day pizza is nothing to you. You can get it at any point in time. So if you understand the mindset that you have, that I am in varsity for a particular reason, and for me to be able to do this, I need to make sure that I've got a place to live, I've got food to eat, and I can actually concentrate at school, so that in the future I've got the money to do whatever I want. In wealth management and personal financial planning, what we look at is goal-orientated strategies. And this is basically when you understand that I've got this pocket of money, and with that money, how am I going to use it so that my future self can say, you've done a great job, you know? So if you are looking at the instant gratification that ngifuna ukudla ipizza manje, ngifuna that nice bag manje, what is the future self going to say? Because in most instances, your future self is going to suffer.
So how you spend money now will determine how in future we'll be able to stand even much bigger finances. Hey.
Yes.
Alright, asibambeni lapho ke bekene. Nawe ke mbukeli ungaba ingcenye yenkulumo yethu namhla ke ngekushayela ke licingo lapha ke e-studio ku 011 7146918 noma 011 7146919. Ungasithumela futhi na SMS ku 33721 noma kuchumane nathi ku Facebook. Kwanyalo ke asasishelele siya ngasethi mageta. Siyabona khonyana. Leli lungelo lakho. Is there a culture of personal finance management and savings amongst most tertiary students? And how can they be inspired towards financial awareness? How does this impact on their future? Ngiloko ke sikhuluma ngako namhla ke babukeli. Alright, now Kuku, asasikhulume kabanti ukuthi yini kahle kahle ama students leka spenda imali yabo kuko? What do they spend their money on?
Okay, so singabafundi asifani, we have different interests. Sharp, that's point number one. Myself, for example, I spend a lot of my money on food. Like, ngithanda ukudla like junk. I think that's what gets me through my studies, right? Okay. So as I study, I chew a lot. So food, number one, is the major problem for me. And then inkinga le enye futhi that students spend their money on its clothes. And kuyavisiseka why a student would spend a lot of their money on clothes because of the pressures that we face when we come to Joburg. Like I said in my first point, ukuthi siphuma kumakhaya angafani, right? And I understand the point yakasisi to say it must come now with you as an individual, behavior yakho ukuthi you know what you are there for. In as much as that is the point, ukuthi I know what I'm here for, it's very difficult to then stick to what you are there for. Because I stay at Rezi, there's students from Sentin, there's students from Fourways, there's students from Pretoria, you know, there's students from Rustenburg, and the girls from Rustenburg, wow, the pressure ebasfaka. And it's unbearable because now remember Rustenburg is rich in mines and all of that, so they come with resources in terms of money, right? So now ngifike Rezi, my roommate is from Rustenburg. Obviously, I can't then now stay as that rural KZN girl. I feel I'm not student enough if I don't now have a Brazilian, for instance. So the things that students spend most of their money on. For females, it's hair, it's makeup, it's food, it's clothes. Then I'm gents, some of them, not all of them. It's alcohol and
gadgets.
Gadgets. That's the one thing.
Yeah.
Because with females, okay, Shap, we do spend money on gadgets, but I think gadgets, most females, we get from home rather than buy for ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Sichaba, she raises a very important point that most of these students fall under the trap of being under pressure from their peers and from their colleagues and from their roommates to the point that they actually forget what they came to university for. So from your research or survey that was done by Student Village, I understand that it emerged that students spend based on their gender and their race. So what are some of your findings with regards to this?
So with regards to gender and race specifically, there's a lot of raw data that we receive after the survey has been done. Then we just break it down and then we nitpick some points that we share with the public. And one of the key trends that you've also identified is how much students are spending on food, on gadgets, on groceries and that sort of thing. And it does differ when it comes to guys and girls. Interestingly enough, with hair and beauty, based on the research, we saw that there was an increase in guys spending on hair and beauty.
Really?
So yeah, so gents are grooming themselves.
For their girlfriends as well.
True, they're buying for their girlfriends as well, as you can say, but gents are also spending more time grooming themselves. And this is not to say that all students are doing that, but this is just based on the averages that we find in the survey. Another trend that we saw is the power of influence. So influence is a major buzzword on social media now. And brands are using influencers in order to engage with young people, students, you know, even adults as well. And the use of, the role that influencers play is just to portray an image for someone to see. And not everyone is influenced by influencers.
Sure.
A student, and what we found is the students can also be influenced by someone next to them, someone that they can relate with. It's over and above a big brand or big person influencing them. But if, let's say, Usimpiwe is right next to me, he's my peer, and he's wearing this pair of sneakers, and he tells me why he wears those pair of sneakers, I'll be like, yeah, those are pretty cool, and this is why I want to do it. So the power of influence is really shifting to peer-to-peer influence, and because you trust and you can relate with those people.
Okay. Thandekile umvele ukukhuluma nge-influence and the power of influence nakho kunaye-ke abekhuluma nge-peer pressure. Uyabavumela noma uyaphikisa kuloko?
I think peer pressure will always be there, and influence will also be there continuously. The biggest thing, and I think I said it at the beginning when I spoke, was that your mindset and your understanding as to why you are at varsity needs to be strong. You need to be very steadfast to why.
Yeah.
The other thing is that stay in your lane. I think that's the saying that is said. Stay in your lane. Understand why you are there. Because as much as that person has that nice all-star, I remember, because I was a student myself. I didn't just land up where I was. I remember there was a group of people that always looked nice, that always had the most stunning clothes, but they would eat a loaf of bread for the whole week. You don't know what lengths they go to get the stunning clothes, because all you see is the exterior. You need to understand that what you want and what they are doing is totally different. So if you stay in your lane, you understand that this is where I'm heading, this is where I want to go to, and this is the plans that I need to put in action so I actually get there. Everything else, all the exterior things, yes, they'll make you feel some type of way. Yes, they'll make you feel like you're shortchanged because you don't supposedly fit in. But in the bigger scheme of everything else, you are going to achieve your goals.
How then do I stay in my lane? Net nangabe mina ngiphila ngesingo lesi brown leside napotela nelitiya lelimnyama kanti ke roommate wami udla bobolotsi ongela malanga. How do I stay in my lane?
So generally what I say, and I also say it with working people, right, that generally say that, okay, my income is only this amount of money, but I also want to increase my lifestyle. If you want to increase your lifestyle, work.
Okay.
Find other revenue sources that are going to make sure that now as unepotile, you've got butter, you've got pizza, you've got all these things that you want. Go be a waiter. Go be a waiter, go do activations. I know in my time, activations was a very huge thing where you did marketing and you get paid for that. Find other ways of getting revenue sources. Some other things are side hustles.
Okay.
Selling makeup if you're a woman. I don't know what guys would be into, but find other ways of creating an income that will assist you so that you can buy the things that you want.
All right.
But don't shortchange what the allowance or the money that you have at this point in time.
All right, let's take our first caller. Now, Pamela ulapha ke eJozi. Sekumorena Pamela, hlelweni sawubona?
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
What's on your mind?
I just have a comment for the lady on the far right. As a person who has read through the Student Bid report on the Student Village site, I've noticed that she's digressing from the main point at hand that Suchaba is trying to raise.
Okay.
Because what I've noticed is that what the Student Village is saying is that these are the things that are out of the research, that have come out of the research. So she's generalizing, basically saying, yeah, if I'm from the rural areas, I'm doing this and that and that. This is my opinion, yes. But those people are a part of the research, but mostly, the majority, is what the Student Spin report represents. And I don't necessarily think it is based on what she's saying is generalizing, and it is not based on any research. But we are, from what I'm gathering, is that Student Village is saying this is what we have found out based on the research that we have conducted.
All right, Pamela, thank you so much. Responses will be coming after the break, but for now we shall take a break. What's your view of how students handle finances and what can be done to increase awareness about personal finances among them? Please share your thoughts. Yilungelo Lakho, we'll be right back. Just before the break, we invited you to share some of your lifestyle experiences at tertiary and thoughts about today's topic. Do you think students are extravagant? Yeah, Kuku. Do you think students are extravagant?
Well, you're throwing me under the bus as well, because I myself am a student. But yeah, I would agree that we are extravagant, like being honest.
All right.
Places that we go to, like some are even way above our level, but we still want to go there anyway.
Okay. Now, just before the ad break, we had a caller, Pamela, you generalizing some of the issues that are being discussed here. What's your response to that?
So my response to that is me saying, because I'm looking at it from a perspective of the current state that I'm in now at school, right? To say, as being part of the SRC, we see these students coming in more than those ones who grow up in cities. To say, I need money for this, I need sanitary towels, I need this. They come in more than those other ones, right? So for me, it would make sense to say, to assume that they didn't go to research with them as well, right? So it's good that she's actually now clarifying it to say, no, what they do is what to research based on everyone, not just those ones from cities.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Sachaba, the kind of research that you've conducted, does it take into cognizance the race, the genders, or you just generalize across the board, across all spectrum of students?
So it's an online survey. that goes across all universities. We put it up on our social media platforms for as many students to respond to as possible. And from the findings, we had over 3,000 respondents. So in order for this information or this research to be valid, you need to have at least 1,000 respondents. And the respondents range from different universities, colleges, TVET colleges as well. And also, the demographic is representative of South Africans, so majority black students, and followed by colored students, Indian students, and so on and so forth.
Right.
So we can take that data, well, we did take that data, and then we broke it down even further to see males and females, how they're spending. Males and females in different LSMs, so students that are, whose parents are earning a lot more money and how much more money they give to them. So we really go into detail, and we even got to a point where we found that there are 4 main sources of students' income. So the first one being from their parents and guardians, the second one being from part-time work and activations, promotions, and that sort of thing. The third one being from bursaries and stipends and your NSFAS scholarships and that sort of thing. And lastly, from their own business ventures. So this isn't to say that all students have their own businesses. This is to say that from the research that we found that there's an emerging amount of students that are owning their own businesses. And it speaks to your point that you mentioned earlier, that you need to be a lot more resourceful. And we're seeing that based on the past, students are becoming more resourceful. Not to take away from your point earlier, that there are students that come from disadvantaged backgrounds or from Emakaya and things like that, right? But those students, what we do is that over and above the research we do, we have focus groups. And in the focus groups, that's where we unpacked the, different backgrounds of different students and what they're experiencing. So we're not generalizing, but we're giving the stats on average with key insights.
Okay,
from the
I will engage you in a moment, Thandegile, but for now, let's take our second caller. Sina Polite, ulapha ke Tips Studio. Sekumele uhlele sawubona?
Hi, how are you?
All right, how are you, Polite?
I'm fine, thanks. Mina, as a student, I've been doing my degree at University of Johannesburg. I've been exposed to 3 different kinds of environments. First year, I was traveling. Second year, I stayed in the community. And the third year, I was so everything by different things. We were like, okay, I was doing a lot more things, buying clothes and those things because I wanted to show people from my country. I was okay, fine, I'm university, I can't cross the same English.
Polite, if you can, please switch off your TV because your line is very, very bad. We are really struggling to hear you.
Okay, I mean, first year I was being exposed to even those like clothes things because I used to travel with that at home, and then like you have to show people like it's okay, you have a lot of clothes and all those things,
and then we lost that was Polite from Dipsloot, but ngiyacemba ukuthi nintethe because khona leti kubamba bambile ke kulelo kuleyo phone call. Just before we get to Polite's comment, how can or how should financiers like NSFAS or other bursaries come to the party in terms of providing financial literacy? Just before we off camera besikhuluma na Gugunja athi ukuthi there's no financial literacy on campus good and financial educators. So how do financiers come to the party insofar as offering financial literacy to students?
I think with the NSFAS and the bursary companies and people that also give monetary aspects to students, what they should do is that they should affiliate themselves with certain companies that do financial planning, financial literacy, and personal financial management, because it is the responsibility of those companies to attach that education with the money. Because of course, if you're getting money that you didn't work for, you're going to splurge on it. You're going to do whatever you want to do with that money because you don't know the hard work that comes with the money. But they need to know the responsibilities that come with it. I mean, there's many instances where people would get bursaries and certain lump sums that come with the bursaries. But because they're in varsity, because Gumnandi at varsity and they can do whatever they want, now they splurge on that money. They don't concentrate at school. And what happens is that the bursary gets revoked and they cannot go to school. And the bursaries say that, hang on, please pay us back our money. And they find themselves having to pay 50,000s of rands or 100,000s of rands because they don't understand the responsibility that comes with that money and also what that money can do for them. So those companies and those NASFAs or whatever the case might be should do an affiliation and an induction that says that when you get that money, this is how you need to utilize it. So
in addition, do you reckon that
that
funders should give the students a lump sum or monthly installments?
I think it should be monthly installments.
Monthly installments.
And I also think that they should do a grocery, so for things that are staples, they should give handouts. Because if you don't do that, they're probably not going to buy those groceries that they need.
Let's leave it there for now. And how can we improve financial management among students in tertiary institutions? Do share your thoughts with us. Siyabuya ke Vaulel Kef. Just before the commercial break, we asked how can we improve financial management among students in financial institutions. Do share your thoughts with us. And speaking of thoughts that some of the viewers have been sharing with us, let's take a look at some Facebook messages. All right, Ntutugo Utsi, and again, it's a very interesting topic. The lady from SimWealth is raising some valid points. Begzin Utsi Yenage, the problem that students find themselves in due to reckless spending is peer pressure. You find that with a little that you earn, you find yourself wanting to emulate your friends and forgetting that we are from different backgrounds and families. Abutikia Utsi Yenage, dear students, stay in your lane and focus on your studies, or rather find a part-time job to sustain you during the month. Thank you. Balenhle Utsi, I can pretty much relate to today's topic because I'm a student myself and the peer pressure that we experience is real. Some of us end up lying to our parents just so we can get money to please and get unnecessary recognition from our peers. There's someone Utsi Yenage watchela umntali wakhe. Okay, shothi wanciphisa le yini lighting kule phone yakhe. Wayinciphisa wayifaka ku 0%. Watshela ke umntali wakhe ukuthi no akathenge screen so lama repairers bafuna 800 rand ukuthi ke kufakwe ke ibulb ke kule. Fair enough, wayithola ke lo 800 rand uhamba wayinatha. So I guess this is some of the issues village that students face on a daily basis, tricking their parents to give them some more money.
I think it's also the responsibility that you have to have as a student. You know, when we say you're a student, and I know this is going to sound very frank and brash, when you're a student, you're now an adult. And you need to understand, why are you at school? Why am I here? You can't put your parents through half of the things that you do. Yes, I know that even us, we put our parents through that. But you need to understand that 800 rand, what is it going to do? Are you going to drink it? Are you going to buy alcohol? Or is it a necessity? And if it was a necessity, would you have lied from the get-go? Because if it was a necessity, you wouldn't have lied. But because it's something that you want to do where you know your parents would not approve, that's why now you start looking for all these tricks along the way.
Right. Sichaba, do you want to reflect on some of these messages?
Yeah, definitely. I think just to add on to your point, there is, like, from my varsity career, I had a lot of friends that would get their monthly stipend or whatever and then just blow it in like the first day. And then over time, it became a struggle where you're just eating juice and biscuits because you've just finished everything, or you're not even eating anything at all. So I think from a point of encouragement, it's just about being honest. And as much as you can stay in your lane, you need to be honest. If you're getting 800 rand a month, then break it down to say, okay, this week I'm spending this much, this week I'm spending this much, just so that you can move forward and just survive. I think that I take this message with me everywhere that I go about being honest about what it is and where you are. Because if you don't do that, then it's going to catch up with you. Reality is going to catch up with you, even if you're trying to keep up with everyone around you.
All right, Kuku, I will engage you in a second. But for now, let's take our next caller. Sina Winigula Pembumalanga. So, good morning, Sabona.
Yeah, Njani.
Siyaphila kunjani, ma'am?
Ngiyaphila bhuti.
Khuluma nasi, ma'am.
Yes, mina ngicabanga ukuthi it goes back to our education system. Because if they can first introduce financial education as a subject at the tethu, it will be easier for abantu abethu nabafika esikolweni to manage their funds.
Yeah.
I think that way can solve the problem that we are facing as parents uma abantwana bethu sebaphuma under our care bayofika lena, because everything has been done for them, Mabasemakaya, and then they are exposed to this world now where everything has to be done by them.
Yeah.
But if they were taught education financially, then they will know exactly how to manage amafunds wabo.
Yeah. And financial education is very, very key and is the backbone of how students should take care of themselves at tertiary institutions. Winnie siyabonga kakhulu ukusishayela. Do you want to reflect on that and some of these messages, Gugu?
So firstly, let me start with the caller that just called in now. Ne? Kuyazwakala what Umamwini is saying, ukuthi kumele sifundiswe as early as high school. Ne? But I also ngokubona kwami ukuthi as a parent now as well, you have a role to play there. Because mina, for instance, how I learned to spend my money, it started in grade 11, as early as grade 11. Because what my dad would do is ubenginika imali yeviki on Sunday night. Give me money for the entire week. Okay, sharp, bengihamba transport, yes, it's fine. But I had to now know how much I spend per day. And I think that was a great thing for him to do, because I would have more money at that time, because the minute ngibambe yonke that money in high school, remember now in high school I'm not exposed to a lot of things. I'm just going to school, coming back, okay, there's peer pressure, weekend, we go out, things like that. But it's not as hectic as it is now in varsity. So then I think as a parent, that's where you come in now, to say, okay, let me teach my child financial responsibility from a young age, the way my dad would do it. So then I would even mabangangbon nyenzi skaftin quickly, so that I put it in my bag. Then I know the 30 rand for the day, now I'm saving it. So that weekend, my eyes do mabangani, tenga makota, tenga ma cold drink, it's nice. Then that's where I started to be financially responsible. And then coming on the point of Usisi, she keeps on saying, we as individuals, you must be disciplined, you must be disciplined. Yes, you, at some point in time, you are going to be disciplined, but it's definitely not first year. Being honest with ourselves, it's definitely not first year.
Because it's still adapting to the environment, new people,
so first year, you're going to be
yeah.
reckless, you're going to be what, but only mausufika with second year. Then only then you start realizing, okay, my mistakes were this. Now, second year, this is what I'm going to do differently. Because if the caller that got cut off by a network, if I was hearing her correctly, she's saying, yeah, na first year she was traveling, and I think she only moved to res in second year, if being muzwagash. So she says first year she will spend a lot of her money on clothes. Why? So that when she goes back home, remember now she's traveling, home, varsity. So that when she goes back home, there's a difference between yena nalabantwana laba abahleli elokshin. Because that social pressures as well do count. To say mangi ekhaya, even if ngihlala spray view myself, but I know when I go home, I always
We'll continue
have to
on
look
that point
good.
after the break, Gugu. Yeah, we'll certainly continue with that point. And the lack of financial education among students has long-term effects that spill over into their adulthood, resulting in over-indebtedness. This is a very worrying factor that needs to be nipped in the bud. We'll be back right after this. Bese-ke sesiqephu sethu sekugcina selihlelo ke bekunene siyayicucumbela ke indzaba yethu namhla. Just in closing, do you think the inability to spend money is a potential breeding ground for this culture of blesser, blessee, sugar mommy, sugar daddy, etc.?
Yes, definitely it is. And the good thing about it is that it's not only females who end up falling for that trap, because males as well do get sugar mummies, like you just said. So obviously I'm going to run out of money, especially with us at vets, because we get allowance for 2 months. Say you get the allowance in February, it must last you February and March, which is impossible. How do I spend 2.8 divided for 60 days if 2 months has 60 days at that point, you know? So obviously the minute now this guy osebenza Liberty, ngihlangana naye lapha Pick n Pay, I think to myself, okay, he's working, yo, uzongikhipha kule nkinga enguyo ke lo. Then that's where it starts to say, okay, now I'm only left with 200 rand. And then say Pick n Pay, I'm in the queue, and then this guy says, do you want me to pay for your lunch? And then say yes, because really, I mean, you want to save that last 200 rand that you have, and here's someone offering to pay. You are going to take that. So most definitely it is a contributing factor.
Okay, so Chaba, what do you think are the long-term effects of misusing money?
I think long-term, it catches up with you. I think long-term, it becomes very dangerous because you have nothing that's going to remain for your future, for your legacy. And if you misuse that money, or if you don't put enough of it away at a certain time, then it's going to catch up with you and you're going to fall short. For the longest time, my father had always told me that whatever you're earning, no matter how small it is, put some of it away.
Okay.
Be smart about how you're using your money, and don't just use it just for the sake of using it or to keep up with other people. You need to be honest about it, and when you use it, then be mindful of what's to come, because you never know when a rainy day is going to arrive. And I think one of the things that I learned, especially from varsity, was that you interact with so many different people from so many different backgrounds. I was in a class with people that went to private schools, and I went to a public school. You know what I'm saying? There's so many different opportunities, especially for students, to learn more, and also for brands to jump on and teach students more, so that they can know more about money and how to make it last, and the best ways moving forward.
Tandagile, I think the bigger problem here is over-indebtedness. Students opening up clothing accounts because they can't afford buying clothes, from lump sum, and they end up being over-indebted. So that when they start looking for jobs, then they have this burdensome over-indebtedness hanging over their heads. So, do you think poor management of the finances is part of a bigger problem insofar as society views saving as a culture?
Definitely it is. It's a very big problem, and unfortunately what students are experiencing is also what the working class is experiencing. So it's not something exclusive to what students are experiencing. And in most instances what we do is that there's certain principles that you need to adopt when you're a student, whether it's from high school if you're lucky, and also when you're in varsity. If you have those principles and those habits innate in you and you've created them, then basically you'll be able to carry that throughout your lifetime. I liked what Sichaba said in terms of the saving culture. Because if you're saving at school, if you're saving at varsity, you're definitely going to save when you're getting that big paycheck and that salary from your employer. Or if you have a business, that money that you make from revenue, you're going to be able to save it.
Is it a global problem, though, or is it only unique to South African tertiary students?
I think it is a global problem, but I think that it's magnified in South Africa because of the inequality that we've had in the country. Because of the inequality we've had in the country, we basically want to show that Nami, I can make it in life. Nam, I've made it in life. And that's why I'm going to wear the clothes that I want. I'm going to wear all these things. So people see that I've made it in life. You spoke about people that are in rural areas. I know well that when you come from a rural area, when you go home, you want to make sure that they know good and this
so
is
for
how
those
we
students, what are your tips and words of advice from a financial literacy point of view?
Okay, so my biggest advice would be, and this is a strategy that Elizabeth Warren created, was the 50-30-20% rule. And within that rule, that basically says that 50% of your money should go to your needs. This is your rent, your food, anything, your groceries that you have. So basically your needs to survive. 30% must go to your wants and your lifestyle, and 20% savings.
We have to end it there. Sichaba, just briefly, your last words?
Last words are just to be honest about your finances and not try and impress people by living beyond your means. Stick to your lane and do what you need to do to be honest with yourself.
Okay, Kuku. Kubangani bakho ke lababukelako?
So also me, to my friends, I just want to say to them, like, whenever you get your allowance, sit down, draw up your budgets. This is how much groceries I need. This is how much I need for hair. This is how much I need for toiletries. That cuts short all your problems. If you have a budget that you go about.
All right. Ladies, gents, thank you so much for joining us. Siyabonga kakhulu. Ake bekunene ke sifika kanjalo kumaphethelweni elihlelo lethu namhla. We hope it'll go some long way to helping students manage their finances much better. Many thanks to our guests for their valuable insights. Khumbula ke mbukele ukuthi ke tinhlelo tethu tiyaphindwa njalo ngolwesine nga-11 ebusuku lapha ku-SABC 1. Otherwise you can catch us again next week Monday at 12 noon for yet another live consumer affairs program. From me Simpiwe Ngwane and the rest of the team, have a blessed week. Cheers.